Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel today. So this is a little bit out of order at the moment, but I plan on catching up. This is a layout I created for Charms Creations, who I will let you know all the details about Charms in just a minute. But this was for week 1 in November. Charmaine invited me to be guest designer for the month of November, and I'm so excited. I love Charms products. They are beautiful. They are different. They are unique. Every single one is unique. You can see I've got 2 hearts there. The first week in November was hearts, and so I'm using 2 of these pink and Hessian hearts, I think they're called, on my layout. So Charms Creations is an Australian business, and Charm puts a lot of effort into every single one of these creations that she makes. They are all hand cut and sewn by, I believe it's Just Charm, and she has some absolutely stunning combinations. There's some DIY ones, there's all kinds of beautiful, there's glitter, there's not glitter, there's all the colours of the rainbow. I love these. I have a considerable stash of them. And yes, I'll make sure I link to her shop below, to her on Facebook. I'll link all the things. If you haven't already checked her out, I do highly recommend that you do so. There's just... I love Charms products. They are just beautiful. So, what I am scrapbooking here is a photograph of my gnome earrings that I surprised myself when I looked up the date for these. These were December 2019. That is when my Christmas gnomes in particular, obsession began. Tamara, if you're watching this, Tamara Buckler, you have a lot to answer for, but I think that we both kind of embraced the gnomes when we made that trip to that big shop. Yes. Anyway, so I did find these online. I had to have them. They are pink and red gnomes. I mean, they are adorable. So I actually started by going through my scraps box, and I pulled out a bunch of pink and red pattern papers, and you can see I'm just adding layers behind my photo here. I started with the Charms products that I wanted to use, and then I picked a photo because I knew that we were working with hearts, and I was like, what can I use? And then I came across this photo. I was like, yes, this is the one. So yeah, I was impressed with myself. I managed to get 2 of these hearts on one page. Yeah. So what I've done is I have cut down all of my pattern papers to do lots of layers underneath my photo. I've added a doily in there, and my ATG had run out, and I couldn't be bothered refilling it. So I'm using my tear tape from Speaker Mum Scraps. I have inked the edges of all of my pattern papers with the Distress Oxide in Hickory Smoke. And I just like how that kind of defines each of the edges a little bit more. A trick I learnt from Shamel. Okay, so I was fairly certain this was the direction I was going to go in, and you can see me struggling and trying all the things and moving the things around. I do cut a bunch of this out so you don't have to watch the boring footage of me moving things around. 3mm this way and 6mm that way. And I'm going to come back in a sec. Alright, so I'm like, what I need here is something to break up the colour. So I'm going to go with this pattern paper. I just want that white with the grid on it. So I'm just going to cut that down. I think you got a lovely shot of my sunburn there. Oh no, you didn't. No, I got sunburnt a couple of weeks before that. I decided at some point while I was cutting my layers here that all my layers needed to be perfectly straight. So I did have to pull out my trimmer and do that. Add on this final layer. Double-sided tape is not my favourite thing in the world. However, it sticks. It does the job. when you're just trying to get things stuck, it's a quick and easy way of getting things stuck. Okay, so I'm back to here again, moving the things around, trying to work out what I'm going to do. You can see me moving and moving and moving and moving. All right, jump forward. I pulled out some sticker sheets. This is the Photoplay paper. Cannot remember the name of the collection, but it was the Gnome collection that came out, I think, in 2019. I love it. And so I pulled this out, and I have glued those two pieces to very light pink pattern paper, just to give them a little bit of a border and fussy cut around those. I've come up with a page design. I forgot that word for a second then. A page design that I'm fairly happy with. I love that gnome. So ho. And my two hearts like that. Pretty happy with how that's looking. I'm going to add some ink to the edge here. I'm going to stick this to some black cardstock. I felt like that just tied everything in really well. And just adding the ink here. You can see I've got some twine to the right hand side as well. Again, my ATG wasn't working, so I just went, I'm just going to use wet glue. It's quick and easy. This is a really old Teresa Collins paper, I believe. Glue that down, and then I'm going to come in with some clear gesso and a big paintbrush. I didn't want to, I knew I wasn't going to add a lot of water, but I knew that I wanted the colour to move a bit. So I'm using some packaging here and some Distress Oxide colours, starting with Spun Sugar. I figure I can always go darker, but I can't go lighter if I go too dark. Kitsch Flamingo, I'm going to dry off between each colour. Add some water and then smoosh that colour on. You can see that spot that looks quite wet in the middle of my page there. Obviously I haven't put a very good coverage of gesso there, but it's not a big deal. It's all going to get covered up anyway. Some more Kitsch Flamingo. This was a pretty quick process. Like I said though, I did dry off between each colour because I didn't want it all just to meld together. Happy with how that's looking. I want to add a bit more depth. This is Festive Berries, which next to the pinks looks really red, but next to the reds it looks more pink. Does that even make sense? I think this is Picked Raspberry. Yeah, this is Picked Raspberry. I just wanted a bit more saturation to my pinks. So you can see I keep bringing my photo in and seeing how the colour's looking, drying it off until I'm happy with it. I think that's the last of it. No, it's not. I add a little bit more. Yeah, just up here. Dry that off. And now I think that's the last of it. What am I doing? So I did spray this with this fixative. I didn't want the colour to move at all. I didn't think it would, but just in case. And then I've glued everything down off camera. So I've glued down my photo cluster, the word ho, my two hearts, and then I've glued that bow down as well. I have pulled out this ephemera pack. It's a really old Pinkfresh Studio one. I went through that, and the only thing I end up using from that is this little pink ornament, which I think looks really cute there. I do try a couple of other things. You can see I've got a little pile of stuff there on my page that I don't end up using. What am I going to use next? So I went into my Christmas stash And I've got some tabs from Ali Edwards. One says Mary and one says Joy, I think. One's in red and one's in pink. Yep, so I'm just going to stick those in there. And then I was like, what am I going to do for my title? And I come up with Gnome Season. I use these really old, they're a Studio Calico alphabet that I bought like a ton of sets of because I just love the alphabet. Gnome Season, and then an American Craft sticker pack that I used in my December daily last year, no, year before. And I've added some, I think they're holly leaves, down by my title and also up where the Be Merry and Bright sticker is across the bottom of my photo. And then I've got this Wearing White Sequins mix from Spiegelmum Scraps, which I again will make sure I link below, along with my discount code for 15% off. I'm going to add some splatters of gold because why not? And that is going to wrap up this page. You will see this one after my second one, and the second one is Citrus. So that one's going to go up first. Well, it will have gone up already. And then you'll see this one. I'm still desperately trying to play catch up, and my computer's filling up and my phone's filling up, and then this is, and then blah, blah, blah. But yes, so Charms Creations, an Australian company. She's really sweet. I was really looking forward to the opportunity of meeting her this year. However, COVID, event was cancelled. But anyway, there will always be next year. I will make sure I link everything in the description box below. I hope you've enjoyed my shares. If you have any questions at all, please make sure you leave them below. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I hope you have a fantastic scrappy day.